When you grow old, don't let people know much about you. As we age, life teaches us lessons that no book, lecture, or advice could ever convey. These lessons come from living through joy and sorrow, success and failure, love and loss. By the time we reach our golden years, we hold within us a treasure trove of experiences and wisdom. Yet, not every part of that story needs to be shared. In fact, the older we get, the more precious our privacy becomes. This is not about becoming reclusive or secretive. It's about learning the power of discretion, the strength in holding certain things close to your heart. It's about understanding that your story, your dreams, and your personal space are sacred and deserving of respect. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. Why privacy matters more than ever. As the years pass and life unfolds, privacy takes on a profound and irreplaceable significance. It becomes less about keeping secrets and more about safeguarding the essence of who you are. In youth, there's often an eagerness to share, to connect, to explain, to feel seen. But with age comes a deeper understanding. Not everything needs to be laid bare for others to scrutinize, interpret, or even admire. Privacy is not a shield against the world. It's a way to honor the richness of your life and the treasures you've gathered along the way. Understanding privacy. Picture your life as a vast and intricate tapestry. Every thread woven through decades of experience tells a story of love, heartbreak, triumph, loss, resilience, and joy. It is a masterpiece, one that has taken years to create, but not every admirer of art is equipped to see its beauty. Some glance and dismiss it, others try to pick it apart, unraveling threads they do not understand. Privacy is the act of protecting this tapestry, ensuring it remains intact for those who truly appreciate its artistry. The changing world. As you grow older, you may notice the world changing around you with its growing demand for openness and its expectation that every detail of your life be shared or explained. Social media, technology, and the constant buzz of modern communication can make privacy feel like a forgotten virtue. Yet, it is precisely in this noisy, ever-connected world that privacy becomes a sanctuary, a quiet place where you can retreat, reflect, and simply be. Protecting your peace. When you protect your privacy, you are protecting your peace. Too often, sharing too much, even with those who mean well, can invite unnecessary opinions, unsolicited advice, or misunderstandings. People may project their own fears or biases onto your experiences, unintentionally causing you to question your choices or doubt your feelings. By keeping certain parts of your life private, you shield yourself from this interference, allowing your inner world to remain undisturbed. An act of self-respect. Moreover, privacy is an act of self-respect. It is a way of saying, my story is valuable, and I get to decide how it is shared. Not everyone is entitled to your history, your dreams, or your struggles. Some people, no matter how close they seem, may not have the capacity to honor your depth or the wisdom you've earned, and that's okay. Privacy allows you to choose who gets to walk beside you in the more sacred corners of your life. Controlling your narrative. There is also a practical beauty to privacy. It keeps you in control of your narrative. When you share too much with too many people, you give away pieces of your story, letting others interpret and sometimes distort it. But when you practice discretion, you maintain the power to shape your own truth. This doesn't mean living in isolation or shutting people out. It means creating boundaries that protect your well-being while still allowing meaningful connections to flourish. Freedom through privacy. Privacy also offers a profound sense of freedom. When you no longer feel obligated to explain yourself or seek validation from others, you become lighter. The weight of their opinions, expectations, and judgments no longer rests on your shoulders. You can move through life with a quiet confidence, knowing that you are enough as you are without the need to put every part of yourself on display. Cherishing private moments. Privacy allows you to cherish the moments that are truly yours. In sharing less, you savor more. A private joy feels richer because it belongs to you alone. A personal reflection holds more depth because it hasn't been filtered through someone else's perspective. The quiet pride of knowing who you are without needing the world to confirm it is a gift that grows even more valuable with time. 2. The wisdom of selective sharing. There's a quiet wisdom that comes with age, a recognition that not every thought needs a voice, not every experience requires an audience, and not every emotion should be placed in the hands of others. Selective sharing is not about secrecy or mistrust, it is about discernment, about understanding that your inner world is precious and not everyone has the capacity or the right to be a part of it. This wisdom is a gift that deepens with time, a compass guiding you toward relationships and interactions that truly matter while preserving your peace and dignity. Choosing confidence. As you navigate life in your later years, you begin to see the layers of complexity in human connections. You've likely experienced moments where sharing too much left you feeling exposed, vulnerable, or misunderstood, not because your words weren't clear or your intentions weren't pure, but because the person listening wasn't ready or able to honor what you offered. Selective sharing allows you to choose your confidence carefully, to give your trust to those who have earned it, and to protect your emotional energy from those who cannot appreciate its value. Nurturing your dreams. Imagine your life as a garden cultivated over decades with care and love. Within it bloom flowers of every kind, some hardy and resilient, others delicate and rare. Sharing your inner world indiscriminately is like opening the gates to anyone who passes by, allowing them to walk through without regard for the fragility of what you've nurtured. Selective sharing, on the other hand, is an act of stewardship. It's about inviting in only those who will tread gently, who will admire the beauty without plucking the blooms, and who will leave your garden better than they found it. Freedom from judgment. Selective sharing also brings freedom. When you embrace selective sharing, you release the burden of constantly explaining yourself, seeking validation, or hoping others will understand you. You no longer feel the need to lay out every piece of your life for others to dissect or judge. Instead, you stand in the quiet power of knowing that your worth is not tied to how much you reveal. What you choose to share and what you choose to hold back is entirely up to you, a reflection of your values and your boundaries. Preserving your growth. Selective sharing protects the tender, unformed parts of your soul, the hopes and ideas that are still taking shape. When you share these prematurely, you risk exposing them to criticism or doubt, which can stunt their growth before they've had a chance to flourish. By keeping these parts of yourself private, you give them the time and space they need to mature, to become strong enough to withstand the world. Strengthening relationships. This practice of discernment doesn't mean you isolate yourself or close yourself off from meaningful connections. On the contrary, it strengthens the bonds that truly matter. When you share selectively, the moments of openness become more intentional, more impactful. You choose to give your trust to those who have shown themselves to be trustworthy, and in doing so, you deepen the relationships that bring joy and meaning to your life. Self-respect and resilience. There is also a profound sense of self-respect in selective sharing. It is a way of saying to yourself, I value my experiences, my feelings, and my dreams enough to protect them. This self-respect is a cornerstone of emotional resilience, allowing you to navigate the world with grace and confidence. You are no longer swayed by the opinions or judgments of others because you know that your story is yours alone to tell, and only you can decide when and how to tell it. 3. The dangers of letting too many in. Life has a way of teaching us that not everyone who walks beside us is meant to stay, and not every door we open needs to remain unlocked. As you grow older, the understanding deepens that letting too many people into your inner world can have unintended consequences. It's not about mistrusting others, it's about preserving the sanctuary of your heart, ensuring that the most delicate and profound parts of your life are shared only with those who truly cherish them. Complexity of relationships. Each person who enters your life brings their own perspectives, emotions, and energies. While some offer kindness, empathy, and understanding, others may unknowingly bring judgment, misunderstanding, or even harm. When you open your heart too widely, you expose yourself to this spectrum of responses, and not all will honor the depth of who you are. Letting too many in can leave you vulnerable to being misunderstood, invalidated, or overly exposed. Emotional exhaustion. Beyond misunderstanding, there is the risk of emotional exhaustion. Every relationship, even the most fulfilling ones, requires some measure of your time, attention, and empathy. When you let too many people in, you may find yourself stretched thin, constantly giving without enough time to replenish. This can leave you feeling drained, resentful, or even disconnected from the very people you hope to connect with. Erosion of self. Another danger lies in the erosion of your sense of self. When too many voices weigh in on your life, offering advice, opinions, or judgments, it can become difficult to hear your own. You may find yourself questioning your decisions, doubting your feelings, or altering your path to align with someone else's expectations. Over time, this noise can drown out your inner voice, leaving you adrift and uncertain about who you are and what truly matters to you. Loss of control over your narrative. Letting too many in can also lead to a loss of control over your narrative. Your story, with all its highs and lows, belongs to you. But when you share it widely, you risk handing over pieces of it to others who may not handle it with care. They may share your confidences with others, misrepresent your experiences, or use your vulnerability in ways that feel exploitative or hurtful. Once your story is out of your hands, it's nearly impossible to reclaim it. Emotional clutter. There's also the sheer noise of it all, the emotional clutter that comes from letting too many people into your inner world. Every person brings their own opinions, emotions, and baggage. When you allow too many of these influences to enter your life, it becomes harder to find clarity and peace. Your emotional space becomes crowded, making it difficult to reflect, recharge, and simply be. Protecting yourself. Protecting yourself from these dangers doesn't mean isolating yourself or cutting off meaningful relationships. It means being intentional about who you let in and how much of yourself you choose to share. It's about understanding that your heart is a sacred space and not everyone deserves or is equipped to enter. It's about setting boundaries, not to push people away, but to ensure that those who do come close are there to support and uplift you. When you guard your inner world with care, you create space for the relationships that truly matter, the ones built on trust, mutual respect, and genuine understanding. You allow yourself the freedom to connect deeply with a select few rather than scattering your energy among many. These connections, though fewer in number, become richer and more fulfilling, offering the kind of companionship that truly nourishes your soul. 4. Practical steps to embrace privacy. Embracing privacy is more than an act of withholding. It is a profound declaration of self-respect and self-care. It is a way of saying, I know the value of my story, and I choose to protect it. Privacy allows you to guard your peace, nurture your inner world, and live authentically without the weight of external expectations. 1. Set boundaries. The first and most transformative step is learning to set boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to isolate you, they are gates that allow you to decide who enters and how deeply. Begin by reflecting on the areas of your life where you feel overexposed or vulnerable. Relationships where you constantly feel the need to explain yourself. Conversations where you reveal more than you're comfortable with. Identifying these patterns will help you create boundaries that align with your values and protect your well-being. 2. Practice saying no. Once you've identified where boundaries are needed, practice saying no without guilt. It's a small but powerful word, one that reaffirms your right to protect your time, energy, and emotional space. Saying no doesn't mean rejecting people, it means choosing yourself when the situation calls for it. For instance, if someone presses for details about a personal matter, it's perfectly acceptable to say, I prefer to keep that private. This simple phrase not only communicates your boundary but also reinforces your commitment to your own peace. 3. Curate your social spaces. Another practical step is to curate the spaces where your life intersects with the world. If you use social media, consider how much you're sharing and why. Ask yourself, am I posting this for connection, validation, or out of habit? If the answer isn't deeply fulfilling, reconsider whether it needs to be shared at all. Social media can be a wonderful tool for staying in touch, but it can also blur the lines between public and private. By being intentional about what you share, you reclaim control over your narrative and protect the parts of your life that are most meaningful to you. 4. Create a sanctuary. Privacy also involves creating a sanctuary for yourself, a place, whether physical or emotional, where you can retreat and recharge. This might be a cozy chair by the window, a quiet corner of the garden, or a favorite walk in nature. More than a physical space, it's about cultivating an emotional refuge where you can process your thoughts and feelings without interference. In this sanctuary, you can reflect, dream, and simply be free from the demands of the outside world. 5. Trust your intuition. Equally important is learning to trust your intuition. Your gut feeling is a powerful guide when deciding what to share and with whom. If something doesn't feel right, if a conversation or a request for information makes you uneasy, honor that instinct. You are under no obligation to explain or justify your decisions. Trusting yourself in this way builds confidence and reinforces the boundaries you've set. 6. Reflect on your motivations. Before you share, reflect on your motivations. Sometimes, the urge to share comes from a desire to be understood, to feel seen, or to connect with others. While these desires are natural, they can lead to oversharing if left unchecked. Before you share, pause and ask yourself, what do I hope to gain from this? Is this the right person to share it with? This moment of reflection can save you from exposing yourself unnecessarily and help you find healthier ways to fulfill your needs. 7. Reevaluate the role of feedback. Another step is to reevaluate the role of feedback in your life. Sharing your thoughts or experiences can sometimes invite unsolicited advice or opinions, which may not align with your values or intentions. By limiting the extent of what you share, You minimize the influence of external voices and strengthen your connection to your own inner wisdom. Feedback can be valuable, but it should never overpower your sense of self or your ability to make decisions that feel right to you. 8. Embrace lifelong practice. Embrace the idea that privacy is a lifelong practice. It evolves as you do, adapting to new circumstances and relationships. There will be times when you feel the urge to open up and others when you feel the need to retreat. Both are valid, and neither diminishes the other. The key is to remain intentional, always honoring what feels right for you in the moment. The act of embracing privacy is deeply personal, but its rewards are universal. It allows you to preserve your energy for the things and people that truly matter, to nurture the quiet parts of yourself that are still growing, and to live with a sense of authenticity that is free from external pressures. Privacy is not about what you hide, it's about what you protect. And in that protection lies a profound sense of strength, peace, and self-respect. 5. The rewards of keeping things to yourself. There is an extraordinary beauty in holding parts of yourself close, in nurturing the quiet corners of your soul where only you can wander. In a world that often measures worth by visibility, keeping things to yourself can feel like an act of defiance, but it is, in truth, an act of reverence. Reverence for your journey, your growth, and the tender, unspoken truths that form the essence of who you are. The rewards of this sacred privacy are profound, offering peace, clarity, and a deeper connection to your authentic self. Quiet reflection. When you choose to keep certain parts of your life private, you create space for quiet reflection. It is in these unspoken moments that you come to understand yourself more fully. The experiences you hold close, whether they are memories, dreams, or personal challenges, become opportunities for deeper introspection. Without the noise of outside opinions or the distraction of explaining yourself to others, you can sit with your thoughts and emotions, exploring their layers and meaning. This reflection fosters clarity that is hard to find when life is constantly on display. Nurturing your inner world. Keeping things to yourself also allows you to nurture your inner world without interference. Some dreams are like seedlings, fragile and full of potential, but not yet strong enough to face the elements. When you share too soon, especially with those who may not understand or support your vision, you risk exposing your dreams to doubt, criticism, or skepticism. By holding them close, you give them time to grow, to root themselves deeply in your soul until they are ready to bloom. This act of protection is not a retreat, it is an investment in the future of what you hold dear. Peace and authenticity. There is also a profound sense of peace that comes with privacy. When you no longer feel the need to explain yourself, defend your choices, or seek validation, you free yourself from the weight of external expectations. You are no longer living for the approval of others, but for the quiet satisfaction of knowing that you are living authentically. This peace is deeply grounding, a reminder that your worth is not tied to how much of yourself you reveal or how well others understand you. Preserving emotional energy. Privacy also preserves your emotional energy. Life is full of relationships and interactions, each requiring some measure of your time, attention, and empathy. When you choose to keep certain things to yourself, you protect your energy for the people and pursuits that truly matter. You are better able to focus on what brings you joy, fulfillment, and connection rather than scattering your energy across countless conversations or explanations. This focus is not selfish, it is essential for living a meaningful and balanced life. Freedom to grow. Another reward of keeping things to yourself is the freedom to grow without judgment. Growth is often messy and non-linear, filled with missteps and uncertainty. When you share your process with others, you open yourself up to their interpretations, advice, and opinions, which may not align with your truth. By keeping your growth journey private, you allow yourself the grace to stumble, to change, and to heal without the pressure of external opinions. This freedom to grow quietly at your own pace is a gift you give yourself, a gift that becomes more valuable with each passing year. Private joy. There is also an undeniable richness in private joy. The moments that you keep to yourself, whether it's a quiet walk in the garden, the satisfaction of completing a long overdue project, or the simple pleasure of watching the sunrise, are often the most meaningful. When joy is shared too widely, it can sometimes lose its intimacy, becoming diluted by others' reactions or expectations. But when it is yours alone, it remains pure, a quiet treasure that you can revisit again and again. Strengthening relationships. The rewards of keeping things to yourself extend to your relationships as well. When you share selectively, the connections you cultivate are built on trust and mutual respect. You are not scattering pieces of yourself across countless acquaintances, you are deepening bonds with those who truly matter. This intentionality enriches your relationships, allowing them to flourish in authenticity and care. Self-respect and peace. Keeping things to yourself is an act of self-respect. It is a way of honoring your experiences, your emotions, and your journey. It is a recognition that not everything needs to be seen, understood, or validated by others to hold value. Some parts of you are meant to remain private, not because they are insignificant, but because they are sacred. These are the parts that define who you are at your core, the parts that sustain you even when the world feels overwhelming. Authentic living. In embracing privacy, you discover that the rewards are not about what you hide, but about what you protect. You protect your peace, your energy, your dreams, and your joy, the parts of yourself that are still growing, still healing, still finding their way. In doing so, you create a life that feels whole and true, a life that reflects not the noise of the world but the quiet strength of your own soul. The beauty of keeping things to yourself is that it doesn't diminish your connections or your life's richness, it enhances them, allowing you to live with intention and depth. It is a reminder that the most meaningful parts of life are often the ones we hold closest to our hearts, not for the world to see, but for ourselves to cherish. Conclusion: embracing the freedom of letting go. As the sun sets on the busyness and striving of earlier years, it illuminates a profound truth. The key to happiness in your later years isn't found in doing more, proving more, or being more. It's found in the gentle act of letting go. Letting go of perfection, of past grievances, of unnecessary burdens, and of the relentless need to meet the world's expectations. What remains is the essence of who you are, unencumbered and free. This stage of life is not about adding to your days, but deepening them. It's about savoring the simple moments that once slipped by unnoticed, the warmth of sunlight on your face, the sound of laughter echoing in your home, the peace of a quiet evening spent with your thoughts. It's about recognizing that the imperfections, the pauses, and even the losses are what give life its texture and meaning. True happiness in your later years comes from embracing the life you've lived, the joys, the lessons, the scars, and finding contentment in the person you've become. It's about focusing not on what you haven't done but on the beauty of all that you have accomplished, all the love you've shared, and the legacy of wisdom and kindness you leave behind. So, as you move forward, remember that the less you carry, the farther and lighter you can go. Let yourself be lazy at the things that no longer serve you, and in doing so, Open yourself to the profound joy of simply being. These years are not a time of decline, they are a time of distillation, a chance to focus on what truly matters: love, connection, gratitude, and peace. You are not defined by what you let go of, but by the grace with which you let go. And in that grace lies a happiness as deep and enduring as the life you've lived. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.